15 years old, living in Waterford here.
Yeah.
My best friend in high school, we would walk down to the video flicks and we'd rent a big giant VHS camcorder for 24 hours. And we'd spend that entire 24 hours shooting sketches and movie parodies and everything. And then using 2 VCRs to edit everything together and then make my family watch them. Yeah.
Just Drew.
Hello, it's me. We are back with another episode. And thank you to you for tuning in. I hope your day is going lovely. I don't know if you're listening to this on your way to work, or maybe you're catching the last rays of the summer sunset. It is September and fall is fast approaching, but wherever you are, thanks for listening. Today's guest is Dean Rainey. He is a Canadian filmmaker with an international track record. You can find his works on National Geographic, CNN, the Discovery Channel, and Fox Movies. He's lived and filmed around the globe, from the US to Hong Kong, and now to his home in Norfolk County, Ontario. Dean is now making waves with his first feature-length documentary, Why Can't We Talk About This? A gripping look into the true story of a man who was injured by the mRNA vaccine and the uncomfortable silence surrounding vaccine-related harm. Before we dive into today's episode, I must note that the views and opinions of today's guest does not reflect the opinions of my own, the Just Drew podcast, or constitute any kind of medical advice. If you have questions about vaccines or the COVID-19 vaccine or any kind of health-related questions, please refer to your healthcare provider or your family doctor. As a side note, I was a little cautious about this episode just because this is a hot topic, a controversial topic. And I was personally, if I'm being honest, I was a little skeptical before watching the documentary. But I watched it. I was pleasantly surprised by it. It is extremely educational. It also dives into, the difference between a regular vaccine and an mRNA vaccine and how it works. There are physicians and doctors and virologists and lawyers being interviewed in this documentary. It is very informative. No matter what your opinion is or sort of what your knowledge is, I definitely recommend watching this. Also, Dean is a Canadian filmmaker. I am in the film industry. The reason I had him on is because I want to support other filmmakers, especially local ones. And I want to have a wide variety of guests on here with different opinions about everything. If there's one thing I took from this documentary, there is a physician being interviewed that says you should listen to both sides. And you'll find the truth somewhere in the middle. Anyways, I'm rambling on here. Here's Dean Rainey.
Hey you, you're listening to Just Drew. Just Drew. Just Drew.
Doctor.
You got to do a little bit of journalism. Yeah, like you're a journalist as well, whether you call
have
yourself
to be
one or not. But just because you have to dig into all the information.
And yeah, I mean, I do have a bit of a journalist background. I did do 2 years at CNN in Hong Kong, so
I've never actually sat down and asked your whole. I know a lot of it, and you were in Taiwan for a bit too, right?
No, Hong Kong was
Hong Kong.
home, yeah,
Strictly Hong Kong.
Yeah, I mean a little bit in Thailand because my wife's from there, so I did a lot of projects in there. But mostly my home base for 10 years was Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Nice, which was like a little bit westernized, right?
Totally. I mean, it's a British colony.
British colony.
Until it was given back in, 97 to China. And now it's just it's another Chinese city. Mm-hmm. So it's lost all its sort of what made it special and unique.
Yeah, sort of that mashup of the two.
Cultures. Free market, very capitalist. And it's just none of that anymore.
That's sad. So you can't, have you gone back?
Yep. Yeah. And it just gets worse and worse every time. And then everybody's left. Like even the Hong Kong born people that were friends and coworkers and everything, they've left. They've gone to England, they've gone to America, they've come to Canada.
Because it's more similar there than
to the old now. Hong Kong. Yeah. And there's huge Chinese communities here, Hong Kong communities specifically here. Mm-hmm. So that makes them feel right at home.
So how did you get started? I'm curious. I want to go back to day one.
Day one, yeah,
Were you always interested in like getting into the industry in some way? Are you always obsessed with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So
Absolutely.
that's always what you wanted to do.
Yep. From 15, is when I really started to like take steps to do it. Because a lot of people ask like, oh, how did you get into this? Did you just decide, you're tired with your job and get into video? And I'm like, no, this is what I have only wanted to do. I guess I wanted to do two things. I wanted to be a filmmaker or a commercial airline pilot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not that good with science and all that, so I think I'll lean back on the filmmaking. But yeah, 15 years old, living in Waterford here. My best friend in high school, we would walk down to the video flicks and we'd rent a big giant VHS camcorder for 24 hours, and we'd spend that entire 24 hours shooting sketches and movie parodies and everything, and then using 2 VCRs to edit everything together and then make my family watch them. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you're cutting with the VCRs.
Yeah, I was a pro. You roll this one, you pause the other one, boom, boom, boom. That's how I had to do everything in the early 90s. All the high school projects that I did, it was totally analog. Yeah. And you get one shot at it, and you're just praying, no dropouts, please, no dropouts.
Yeah. Because when my first camera was a digital camera. It's somewhere behind you there. But so I kind of missed the whole film thing, and then I got into it later. I'm into it now as I'm hitting my 30s, and I'm just sort of learning about film and how to use it.
But it's nostalgic, right? Now it seems like it's really like...
It's trendy.
It's trendy, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because people want to be different. I think it started trending in weddings and stuff because they would bring a digital but then also a film. And then...
it's a unique effect, right?
Yeah. And then I went to a wedding and they supply these film cameras and you just send it off and they just do everything for you and send you all the files. So it's like, I don't know. It's around.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice to see it still hanging on there. It gives me hope that...
as long as it makes money, right? Capitalism.
Totally.
And there's only two. There's only Kodak and Fujifilm. That's it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's still two at least remaining here, but yeah.
Thank you. You moved my cleaning bottle.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure if it was in the camera there.
Make sure I don't pour it in my drink.
No. Interesting. Okay, so and then did you go to school? Did you go to broadcasting?
Yeah, so in high school I did a co-op.
Okay.
So there was a video production company in Simcoe at the time called Video Business Strategies, and so I did a co-op there. And they weren't very busy at the time because it was very hard to get video work in the old days. And
it's no social media either.
There's no social media, so you're really, you make something for the client, but it's up to the client to find a place to put it, and you got to get it on TV or
pay to put it somewhere.
Pay to play, or you got to spend money and make physical VHS copies to go, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I met Chris Adkins there, who was another local filmmaker, and he was working there as well, so we kind of knew each other from that. So I guess that's grade 11, and then I applied to film schools here in Canada, and I didn't get into any of them. I had a great portfolio, but I had no marks. I had spent all my time making videos and
they're looking for academics.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense.
No, because I got there. Okay, so I was offered an English literature or creative writing at York or something. I was like, no, I got to study film. I'm going to film. So I went to the U.S. So I went to a film school in Orlando called Full Sail Center for the Recording Arts. Then when I came back, I realized I don't have enough education. I have very technical education. So I'm going to go back to university and just, expand my mind, get story ideas, literature. I took English literature, and so it was basically a giant reading list of just read all these books.
Yeah,
and
what are you going to film?
Stories, ideas, characters, understanding arc, understanding, just the idea of everything. And then while I was there, I met the other kids that did get into film school, and they had no interest. They were just doing it because they had the grades, and they were terrible at it. And then they switched to something else, and I felt, wow, I think this is kind of broken because those of us that want can't. And
I had a similar experience at York.
What happened with you then?
I applied, and they initially sent me an acceptance letter, but there was sort of this extra blob at the bottom. And it was like, hey, it's full, but we liked your submission so much, we want you to still attend. You can take all the electives from the film program, and then come second year, you can just go into the full course, and you won't lose any years. You don't have to be an extra year. It sort of carries over. So I was like, okay, great. I'll just take all of the film electives. So I did, and it was great. And then but I had to reapply to the program.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So I wasn't guaranteed. So I was like, okay. They're like, come February, March, you reapply. You already have all these electives, and that'll carry on to the full course, so you don't have to take them the next 3 years. And so I went to reapply in February or January when people mostly apply. They're like, oh, it's different for internal students. You have to wait till April. And I was like, well, but everybody else applies in January. They're like, yeah, And I was like, do you reserve like a certain amount of spots for internal students? They're like, no, if it fills up, it fills up. But I was like, what if it fills up by the time I apply in April? They're like, oh well. I'm like, so I just paid X amount of dollars to spend an entire year here, commute from Hamilton.
No way. Oh, you commuted.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hike.
Yep. So
They got your money. Oh, man.
bit of a money grab.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would've
And
been
so
nice to
like
know.
I still could have reapplied in April, but I was so pissed off. And by that time I was like, you know, I had met you. I think I was starting to work on some of your shows. I was working with all like on sets. I was getting
Yeah.
paid and already working in the industry. I was like, well, what am I doing here, right?
Exactly.
So I was just like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
So you didn't finish, which is fine.
No, I did
Yeah.
a year there, and then
Yeah.
I left.
You
'cause I was-
probably learned everything you needed to.
well, and you're
from
not
there,
even
and
allowed
then-
to touch equipment until second year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And it's outdated equipment, and the equipment's not even important because you learn everything about the equipment on set anyways, and that changes all the time.
Yeah. I think, like, I've had a lot of people on who have gone to film school and haven't gone to film school, and it's just like the benefit I would see is just making a sort of a network.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you often work with people you went to school with later on in life. But if you're very social like you and me are, it's like no problem meeting people.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're really shy, go to film school. Like, you know,
Meet people.
meet
and-
people.
Yeah.
But like if you're very outgoing, it's not necessary at all.
Yeah,
your
I
horizons.
tell everybody who asks me, don't go to film school. Study something else,
Yeah.
like that will help you generate ideas,
Yeah.
and be creative,
Get
and
inspired.
get inspired. Exactly, and then you'll get a job and you'll learn everything on set.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the thing. I was learning more on set and then just going to lectures with 400 people. And we were reading this film textbook that the professor wrote that we had to buy.
in the '70s, of which he barely has a career of his own inside the industry. Yeah, I know. I've seen it all. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we were just watching like weird, you know, we'd learn about French noir and like sort of the history of it, which was interesting. But then I get to set and I like can't apply that unless you're like a writer director, which I wasn't at the time. So
Yeah.
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 Interesting experience. Well, you and me both.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, I'm not alone there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much par for the course for a lot of people. I don't know anybody who's done the 4 years of film and
Well,
then like
even when you get the degree and you leave film school and you enter onto a set, when you try to get on the set, they're not be like, hey, do you have a film degree? They're like, hey, do you know how to turn this light on?
yeah. Can you lift 50 pounds?
Can you lift 50 pounds?
Will you work all night?
Do you know how to set C-stands up?
Yeah.
Like, you can? Great, you're hired.
You're in. Yeah, that's why I said if you know anybody in the business, just go work for them. Just
Yeah.
keep bugging them. That's
Yeah.
you're in. That's all you need.
Mentors are like cheat codes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's very hard in this industry because I noticed a lot of, I always knew I wanted to write and direct, and a lot of directors won't mentor.
No?
No,
I
because
must have got
they're-
lucky then.
Yeah, okay, good. Because they are secretly scared you're going to replace them.
Yeah.
It's highly competitive in this. And so they'll give you a little bit. I've had some great executive producers, but they are very limited on what they guide me through or whatever, but they don't want to give it all up. Very protective. Very
Yeah.
protective.
The ones I've run into have been pretty good for the most part.
Good.
I mean, Jesse in particular. I think
Yeah,
he loves it so much. He's excited to share.
He's outside of the city too. He's out
Yeah.
here. I think it's a different vibe that he can have living and working out here.
Yeah.
And that, you know.
Country boy originally.
Yeah,
so
right?
He gets it. Yeah, there's a bit of a soul here.
Yeah, and he's laid back, I think. I
Super
see,
laid
you know,
back.
laid back that he doesn't feel, he's more collaborative than competitive, I think, sometimes. Or,
Yeah. Well, that's what I learned. It's just like, you know, I know every videographer in the entire county, and it's just so beneficial just being friendly with everybody and talking to everybody. And
Small community.
you have to.
I think that gets forgotten here sometimes
You
because
have
I'm
to.
like, wait a minute, you're doing that, but you think I'm not going to see that?
Yeah.
I mean, I live in the same county. I watch all the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've worked on everybody's stuff. Jesse's, yours, Graham's. I've worked on everybody's shows.
Yeah.
It's great. You have to.
It's good. It's good that we can collaborate like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I can pick up like a little bit of what you like to do, a little bit what Graham likes to do, a little bit what Jesse likes to do, and then, you know, pick what I like from each of you guys. It's good.
Yeah, I hope that it can continue and that we can grow because this wasn't here
Me
when I
too.
was growing up. That's
No,
for sure.
you
there
must
was
have
no
been
options.
like, you're the OG or one of the OGs, I would say. To
Yeah.
sort of build a cable television show in Norfolk County is crazy.
Yeah, like when I moved back here from Asia, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there was, you know, Chris Atkins was doing some stuff, but there was nothing. And then it It was the time of digital, the switch to
was
digital.
just starting.
The 5D. We had been shooting with that in Asia, and we were like, look at this. We've got these lenses. Now we can use anything. We can get that look we want. And then that was half my pitch to get a lot of stuff. And drones. Drones were for the
Yes.
first time. Now, you
Yes.
couldn't buy one, but you could. What I did was I found a guy in Barrie who built them. He was like a Waterloo engineer, and like a 2010, he was building them.
Oh, so
before
they're not even
DJI.
like branded ones. He's just-
No, this guy's built these giant
Frankenstein.
ones, yeah, and they would come down. But it was affordable. I didn't have to rent a helicopter for the first time.
Yeah.
So those two things just brought that cinematic feel
Yeah.
for low budget stuff, so I could do these tourism promos for Norfolk County or
Yeah.
Elgin County and, really make a difference.
So those tourism videos, was that guy with that drone? Those shots? Those
The early
shots?
ones, yeah, like
Yeah.
the 2010, 2011 ones, yeah.
Yeah, I know the
that's
ones,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Very
before
cool.
all the in wave of the DJIs and all that. And then everybody has a drone. And then every client's like, I got to have a drone. And I'm like, that's why I promoted my film a little bit like my film, Why Can't We Talk About This? The vaccine injury documentary. I say, there's not one drone shot in the entire film. Can you believe that? Just good old-fashioned storytelling.
I mean, like, they think it adds, like, value. And it does. It makes it seem more expensive, or, like, they put a little bit more money into it, but it's not necessary.
I know. And
B-roll.
I just see so many videos where the whole thing is drone. And I'm like, where's your close-up? You need to have a close-up. I can't just see the top of everybody's heads all the time.
I was guilty for that because, like, when I started in weddings, I'm like, oh, if I put more aero shots, it'll seem more cinematic or
Right.
something. And then watching them now, I'm like, ooh,
It's a lot of drone.
too much. Too much.
Oh, we all learn, right? We all learn.
You got to learn somewhere.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I was like, I started out run and gun. It was just like I was zip lining, and I started doing the social media there, and then I was doing weddings, and then just kind of like blossomed from there. So
Yeah, good for you. How the weddings? That's something I've avoided like the plague. You embraced it. Good for you. And like I respect that, man, because
Yeah.
you can make some very good money.
it's cash cows.
Yep. Get some
Yeah.
gear. Build up
Yeah.
your gear. But were they really as hard, or have I just I have bad memories from the one I did in high school?
It's very hard to be very good at it, to be like one of the known, because there are people that are just known for it, and they can be charging $10,000 for a wedding.
Wow. Is that like, are they putting a story together, or are they just
yes. So you gotta like, I feel like you have to be older too. Like if you're 19 and you're starting weddings, like you don't know how to tell a story. Not like a 30 or a 40-year-old.
Right.
But sorry, he likes whiskey. Just shoo him away. Are you okay with
good.
cats?
Yeah, I like them. I'm allergic though.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. No, I'll be fine. Won't bother. If I don't pet it, be fine.
I don't want him sniffing around your drink though. But yeah, like I owe a lot of my like just basic camera knowledge to weddings. It was just a crash course. Like I just had to learn. Me and my brother were doing it together, and we're just
That's
like,
my question. Yeah, just two of you shooting everything.
yeah, learning about aperture for the first time, and shutter and frame rate and like all that stuff. Because like just before, we were just doing dumb little skits together, right?
Right.
Little like Call of Duty remakes, and we were into like Saving Private Ryan. So we do like the fake military videos and.
Hey, I wouldn't call those dumb.
Yeah, Brandon was in a lot of them. We used to do little skits, like little SNL
Some of
skits.
those were
so-
hilarious.
Great. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Similar backgrounds, so yeah.
Because a lot of people take themselves so serious, in this business or whatever. So I really, it's refreshing when I hear people trying to be creative like that and with comedy and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I try not to take it too seriously, and like a lot of those gigs, the weddings, is just like I try to do my best, but really at the end of the day, it's I need to pay for things.
Yeah.
So.
And any what is that, Bridezillas or anything? Did you have? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. You know what it usually is? It's the bride's mom, I find.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just to give some context, like some of the time they are paying for most of the wedding.
Yeah.
In a lot of the cases, and so they feel like they're entitled to do what they want. And I'm like, well, like you aren't actually the one that hired me. I have to do what the bride says, not you. Because at the end of the day, like the bride's the one's paying me. She's the one that wants this and that. So I have to be like, let me run it by your daughter first.
Yeah.
But I've had absolute nightmares like where fathers have father-in-laws or whatever, like they've just fallen asleep, and the one guy fell asleep. I'm pretty sure he was high on something, who knows what. Didn't know where the venue was, so the ceremony delayed by an entire hour, and then eventually he showed up. But he showed up at where the reception was, not where the ceremony was, and so this place was calling the other place, but like, yo, there's a guy here, he's looking for a wedding, and it was the dad. And he finally shows up an hour later. We delayed the whole thing, eventually did it. Like, You know, just,
Wow, okay.
You know, I borrowed my dad's truck once, and a buddy of mine, he was new. He like closed up the hatch, and we pulled out of the spot, and some of the gear fell out the back of the flatbed truck. Oh no! But ironically, it fell in front of an apiary thing, and I knew the person, the beekeeper, and so she recognized all my writing, and like I have it all labeled and stuff with phone numbers, and so she called me. She's like, "Hey, I think I have some of your lenses and stuff."
Oh my gosh!
It was in a like a box. A padded box, but still.
Yeah.
So the thing opened, and when I turned out, it just
I got to start driving these country roads looking for gear on the side,
right?
Man, if you're,
like crazy stories.
So like, but okay, that seems like that stuff that happens, you know, Murphy's Law, anything that's going to happen. But like, was there like revisions from hell? Like, no, this video isn't it. I want to recut more of me in it. You know?
Different music,
different
song.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
It's like
change everything.
That's the meme one in a lot of film communities on Instagram and stuff.
Make it pop. Give me some music
more
that
color.
makes more color in there.
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay.
Oh yeah, plenty of times. And then as I got older, it's like, okay, I need contracts, and now I'll bake in like, okay, 2 revisions max. You can't change this. At a lot of times, like I was doing photography as well, and they would just re-edit my photos and post them. And it like just destroyed. The image is just destroyed. And they're like, "Oh, photography by Drew," and I'm like, "No, this is not my photo." So, okay, put a clause in there, and you just kind of learn as you go, right? Can't tamper with photos, like all this stuff.
Yeah. Good for you, though. I guess you have to build a reputation first to be able to kind of do that and get the trust of people.
Yeah, and then like once you have a body of work, they see it. They're like, "Okay, this guy's."
Yeah, I don't know why people would want to re-edit your photos then. They're not getting the raw and re-editing. They're re-editing what you've already edited, and so, oh, man.
Yeah. Or they'll want the raws, and then they get upset that you won't give it to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, a lot of the work, 50% of the work is after. And so if I give you these raws and you tamper with them and tell people I took it, it's not a good representation of,
Of your work,
of my work.
No.
So.
Whew, how long did you do that for?
10 years almost. Wow. I only stopped like a year ago. I actually have a wedding on next weekend. I just like picked it up.
Yeah.
I'll do a few here and there if people ask. I don't mind.
Just for nostalgia. Just to
look,
get
and it's easy and you get fed, and there's not that I drink, but there's open bar, there's hors d'oeuvres, there's dinner covered, and good music. Everyone's in a good mood, so it's like, I'll just hang around with a camera for a few hours.
It's tempting, yeah, it's that tempting. And then you get back and probably on your day, like, why did I take this? It's hot out here, the wedding's late, my lens is fogging up.
It's when I get back and I load the 50 gigabytes into my drive, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go through this footage. That's when it hits me.
Like 3 days of sifting before you can even start anything.
Do you have a process for editing? Because that's very overwhelming with a lot of footage that's just, I mean, I guess you can just do the run of the day, but like,
now I do.
That you...
Yeah, I'll make like different sequences. What do you cut in? iMovie? Or sorry,
Final Cut.
Final Cut?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Adobe.
Yeah, I don't know why. At this point, it's ridiculous. I could understand. I mean, because I was a big fan of Final Cut 8.
I started on Final Cut.
It was great, no problem. And then they came up with 10, and this was going to blow everybody's brains open, and just it was a disaster. It was the worst software I've ever worked in. It just nothing made any sense. And then it was like 5 years of updates. But now, oh my gosh, it's where it needs to be. I go into Premiere now, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Why do I have to tell you like 3 steps to get this here, even replacing a clip or putting it in? With Final Cut, it's that magnetic timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do miss the magnetic timeline.
Okay. Yeah. And people from Premiere move into Final Cut, and they're like, this is the worst thing. I don't get it. It's like your brain needs to just hit that. It just needs to tip for you, flip. Yeah. And when it does, you'll be like, wow, I can't work without this magnetic timeline.
It's like in the timeline, when you cut stuff and you delete it, it'll just go, and it'll just close.
Constantly keep you in sync.
And so it keeps you, it's like a fast way to edit. I guess it depends on what you're editing too. Like if you're, I don't know.
I don't like doing music videos in them where the music is the base, because then you got to build stuff sort of on top that way. But anything else, I think it's great.
Yeah. I probably haven't used it in like 8 years.
Wow. Oh, no, it's there. But you're in Premiere, okay.
Yeah.
So you've got a process, you get in.
I have a process, and it's like I have such a detailed process, and it's a similar process to because I'll edit for other directors as well, and I edit for Jesse a lot, and so it's like, I don't know, I just don't want to change it now.
Yeah.
And it's like they're all using Adobe and Premiere, and so it's very seamless. I just show up, I have everything, it's ready to go. We can share projects seamlessly.
Yeah.
And like, especially if you want to like dive into special effects, I find it's pretty seamless. But I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah,
used
I mean,
Final
it's
Cut in a
nice
long
to be able
time.
to kind of open up the project into Premiere and kind of
Yeah.
do things. It's just one little more step with Final Cut, but it is so streamlined for everything else now.
Yeah, that's
that
good.
I love it. And then our whole ecosystem is that now. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough.
That's
We're
the
just
thing. You
kind
don't
of
want to move, right?
We're in separate silos. Neither one is probably wrong or
Yeah.
right or whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like,
I always say it's like cameras. It's like just use what works for you. If you like a camera and it works for you better than me, don't use mine. Use that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, everyone's different.
Yep. You got to
Yeah.
stick to what works for you.
Yeah, but I have a lot of complaints about Adobe. So many complaints.
Okay, yeah.
It's
I mean,
so
I hate the
buggy.
subscription. I mean, we use, of course, it's funny because we do use everything else, Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects. But yeah, it does burn me to pay that subscription.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
And it's every month. It's just
Yeah, and then
relentless.
they don't patch things. There's so many bugs. Even with the
Still,
bugs.
eh?
Yeah, still, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm not in it all the time. My editor is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just offline stuff mostly now.
It's like the other day I was editing and like just the one track wouldn't load. I'm like, okay, I'll have to restart the program. Now it's working. I'm like, okay, all right. There's worse bugs. I don't want to get into that. I'm more interested in.
Anyways.
Sorry, we got side reeled there. We're geeking out. Sorry, Brandon.
All good.
He knows a fair amount of stuff.
Are
He's
you
been
in
around
video
me.
at all, or?
No, he's medical.
Not personally, but I know of it just through him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it rubs off on you, and
Yeah.
you've acted in his projects as
That
well.
too.
So.
Done a little bit way back when.
Yeah.
Like,
We're like 6 months apart, so we
Yeah.
just
Okay.
he's any project. I'm like, hey man, and then like Drew's busy. I'm like, hey man, want to come do a podcast? He's super
ready.
good with computers though. Builds his own computers and stuff.
yeah,
and
I know more hardware than software.
Yeah.
Personally, but
Okay.
but he's quick.
I dabble.
Yeah,
I learn quick.
if we need fact checking, he's like,
He's right on it. Yeah.
he's got it. Yeah,
It's good. It's a good skill to have when you have a podcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
for
Fact
sure.
check everybody there.
yeah. Drew's a good conversationalist, but he's very quick on the computer. So, yeah, we just need to combine the two of you.
Yeah, because you don't have one without the. Well, I guess you have one, but without the other, right? You can only have one.
I
Co-host.
guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Only one.
Yeah.
co-host,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he could sit, but it'd be a little awkward in terms of conversation.
No, because I want to drive the conversation. I
Yeah.
know where I want to take it. So, and he just kind of he chimes in perfectly. He's very good with it. Yeah.
As
And
your co-host, yeah.
I was gonna call it Just Drew Podcast before I involved him, because like every time someone meets me, usually they're like, "Oh, is that short for Andrew?" And I always have to reply, "No, just Drew. It's just Drew, not Andrew, just Drew." And so my father-in-law calls me JD, and that's where the name comes from.
Ah, okay. And the other Drew that does the podcast with you, is he
Just-
Drew?
he's just Drew.
too. Okay, yeah.
And then we became friends. I'm like, "Hey man, you want to do a podcast? I'm gonna call it this, and it would make sense if you did it with me."
Yeah, totally. Now we met him, I think, through you.
Probably. Oh yeah, I think
something
he
at
needed
Long
a
Point.
hand with something, or I suggested him maybe.
Yeah, did he ride bicycles in a promo or something? He came down and he was in one of the Norfolk County tourism spots or something,
probably.
I think. And then he said he wanted to get into film, so he worked on our homebrew show.
Oh, there you go.
We did a beer show, and he
That's
was
right.
a PA on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was good. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like a easygoing guy.
Yeah, nice to have
all
those
you can
kind of
really
guys
ask
on,
for.
on set. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So we were talking about so you did a stint in Hong Kong.
Yep, that's
and
right.
It was that with CNN?
So I was working in Toronto, and you're grinding it out. When I graduated, I just back up a little bit and tell you a little bit like how I
Yeah.
got in. So after I finished film school in Florida, I moved back to. I went right to Toronto. I was like, I'm not going back to Waterford. We're done. We're moving on. Go to Toronto. Grind it out there. I'm PAing on like YTV promo shoots, and then I'd come home during the week and work on my dad's ginseng farm, and then I would go back to the city for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I'd pound the pavement trying to find
Wow.
work
Yeah.
or doing these days they'd always shoot on the weekend, these YTV promos or commercials. And I thought, oh man, I don't know about this. I'm going to go back to school. I went back to York University, studied English literature, and then freelanced on the side. And then I was like, I can't do this film thing. I did 2 movies back to back where I was craft service. Okay. And I didn't mind. I've always been trapped in food somehow. Food and film.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I grew up working in Yin's restaurant in Waterford. So I was familiar with, restaurant business and that. So I thought, okay, well, I'll do some craft service. I worked on a Brian Dennehy movie of the week. And the
Okay.
crew was fantastic. The crew was absolutely fantastic, and gave me a big tip at the end, and it was great experience. And I made, even in craft service, you were making like $1,500 a week back then, man.
Oh my God, that's great.
It was totally great. In the 90s, are you kidding me? And then I worked on another movie. It was called Elvis Meets Nixon. It was a Showtime movie out of the States. And man, the director, his claim to fame was Rock and Roll High School. I don't know if you are familiar with that. The Ramones are in that movie. It's from the 70s. Anyways, this guy was a total asshole. Total asshole. The gaffer on the show was an asshole. What happened was the gaffer was allergic to onions. And I kept telling the people in the kitchen, preparing my truck, because I had a kitchen on a truck, don't put any onions in any of the subs or the lunches or anything, because this guy's reaming me out every day. And they kept putting onions in it. So this guy would complain and then go to the production manager and complain about me. I'm putting onions and everything. I'm going to kill him and all this stuff. I mean, it's not me. It's like, I have no choice. I don't make this stuff. And anyways, it was like the last week of filming. We're out at the airport. Don't film at the airport. It's a nightmare logistically, but we're out there on the tarmac. I've got this truck, and I'm waiting for the generator guy to hook me up to power so I can make the subs. Every 3 hours you get a substantial. It's called a sub.
Okay.
And you got to feed the crew, the union crew, right? You got something hot and warm. Well, I didn't have power, so I couldn't cook anything. Gaffer comes on the truck and just is like, oh, we're in meal penalty. We're in meal penalty now. He thought he had me, right? Like, he hated my guts the whole shoot. And he thought I was going to burn me because now the crew gets a whole, like, $75, $150 for being late for lunch. And I'm like, well, you can go ahead and tell the production manager because I don't have power. If I don't have power, I can't heat your subs up. And he went to tell the production manager, and the production manager couldn't say anything to me. So I was fine, but I was like, I'm done. I quit. I didn't even finish. I didn't even finish the week there. It was just toxic. And I said, this is not for me. I had to be at set like at 3 a.m. And then you're not, because I wasn't union, you're wrapping at 8 or 9. And then I'd have to drive downtown to where I lived and then drive back.
How do you have a life?
You don't. Oh, you don't.
That is your life.
Yeah, when you're working on set in film, like a movie or movie of the week, you have no life. Those people are chained to that set. Like, it just gets worse. He starts out Monday, you're 12 hours, then 13, 14, 15, and then by Friday you're bleeding into Saturday. Those people work really hard for 8 hours, 8 months a year, and then they go to the Caribbean for 4 months of the year and detox whatever. But it doesn't make for very nice people. Sorry, but film sets there's not a lot. There was, like I said, there was one good movie I worked on. The director set a good tone, which is Brian Dennehy. The old man in Rambo, First Blood, Brian Dennehy.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. He's very nice to me, very good to me.
Cool.
But then the second film was terrible. So I said, well, I'm going into TV. So I couldn't find any TV work except for a Chinese TV station up in Richmond Hill. I knew somebody and I got a job in there. And they're like, you want to come work here? Like, you're a white Canadian guy. And I'm like, I don't know. I want to just do something. I want to go get out of this high-pressured sort of environment here while I'm in school and just work part-time. And so that's what I did. I became a camera assistant there. And as I was working there, I met these cameramen who were from Hong Kong. Now, if you were a fan of cinema in the 80s and 90s, you knew that Hong Kong cinema, action cinema, was like amazing at that time. Some fantastic directors and even better directors of photography. And so what would happen was these guys would retire to Canada to have a better life for their children. And then there was just like not much work here. So they'd work at this Chinese TV station.
Okay.
So there were 2 of them that were like movie level quality DPs slumming it out in this Chinese TV station.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like, oh, you're a white guy? Yeah, I'll take you with me. Come on, let's go. So I was the only white guy at this organization, right?
Good people to learn from.
Oh, totally. And they had, like I said, remember, there's a little bit of protectionism with sharing or mentoring in this business a little bit. Not with these guys. They taught me everything. They taught me everything they know. And one of the guys was Wong Chi-wai, and he really was worked on a lot of really big Hong Kong action movies. So big that in the 90s, I don't know if you remember, in early 2000s, there was a fad where they were hiring Hong Kong action directors to direct Hollywood movies. The Big Hit with Mark Wahlberg, 51st State with Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
A lot of these ones. And so if the director was from Hong Kong, he could pick his DOP to be from Hong Kong too, because so they could speak Cantonese to each other, communicate better. And then the DP was allowed to have his camera operator. So Wong Chi-wai, who was my mentor at this TV station, Chinese TV station, would go and work on these Hollywood movies shot in Toronto. And I was like, wow, like he was at top of his game. And he just taught me everything he knew.
That's awesome.
And when I was at that station and finishing up school, I used my OSAP money to make a short film,
No, really?
and he was the DP of it.
Wow.
He came down to Waterford. We shot it in Waterford because it was based on my life as a teenager. I used ginseng and the Chinese
Yeah.
restaurant and all the stuff I knew, right? Because they say,
That's so cowboy to
You're
use
trying-
your OSAP money.
oh, totally, right? I didn't have a credit card, so I had to use that. And I pitched it. I made this short film, and then I showed it to this Chinese TV station. I was like, look what we made. Because it was a short film. It was like comedy, narrative. And they were like, okay, all right, interesting. We don't want to do more of this, but we might have something else for you. And then what they ended up doing was getting a bunch of money and making a multicultural documentary. And then they hired me to do it because I was the only English-speaking white guy in the TV station.
Yes. Okay.
So huge break. I'm now directing something.
Nice.
And then I did that for a year, and then I moved over under this Wang Chiwai and worked for him doing commercials. And he just taught me everything. Lighting, product shots, how to work with talent, like for commercials, because he
Yeah.
had done all this high-end stuff. And even though we're shooting like, digibeta or whatever, we're still like, we got 2 lenses. There's like 2 lenses we could swap out, and but just learning all this lighting, and then of course it's Hong Kong style, so you're like doing it on nothing, like zero budgets, like using redheads, lighting stuff with redheads and blue gel, like it's just like
Yeah.
shortcuts, crazy. So then he says, I do 1 year of that doing commercials, and he's like, I'm like, I got to see the world. Maybe I'll go to New York, but I'll never get a visa in New York. Everybody's an English-speaking filmmaker wannabe. What makes me special? And Chiwai said, go to Hong Kong. You'll find work. So I said to my folks, okay, I'm going to fly over to Hong Kong. I had some friends that were there from university, and I said, I'll stay 2 weeks. If I find a job, I'll stay forever. And that's what happened. Yeah, I ended up working for a toy company there
Okay.
for 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And just on the side trying to do voiceovers, trying to do some freelance video work. And then I got an opportunity to do a discovery documentary. Just knew somebody who knew somebody, got in, did it. And the thing was, when I was working in this Chinese TV station and did this documentary, they brought in a Media 100, which was one of the first nonlinear editing programs. And I just taught myself how to use it. So I was one of the first nonlinear editors, really, around sort of at my level there. And that was a huge asset for me because anywhere I went, they were still making the transition over, and they'd be like, anybody have any experience? And I'd put my hand up. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I just moved to Avid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On
Avid,
and
yeah.
on. Yeah, it was just, and so that was a big break. So I was doing the 2 documentaries for Discovery Channel and working on Avid there. And then people just, like you say, social. It's a social business, right? You got to network. And then people who knew people, they were looking for a technical director at CNN. And so after those 2 documentaries, the 2 producers of like the documentaries I was doing and the producer at CNN, they knew each other, and they played Halo on the weekends. Whatever.
Oh,
They're like,
nice.
hey, I just worked with this editor. He's pretty good. He's an easygoing guy, and he's young. And so I went in, did the interview, and then I did 2 years at CNN.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. News isn't my bag.
Yeah.
Like it's there's no production value. There's no production quality in a sense. Like the storytelling is not very strong. You start to realize that journalists, they know a little bit about everything, but not a lot about one thing. So you have to really be careful what they're doing. It was very high stress, high pressure. And sometimes, you just thought, why are we making these news decisions that we're making? But I had every tool at my disposal. Never have I worked for a company before that or after that where any technical equipment, piece of gear that you need to be a little bit faster or better, you can get it. You can get it. Oh, yeah, we had satellite phones and like a direct, this is before really the full-on internet, but, a direct telephone line to Atlanta so that we could call and get like microphone quality like voiceovers, and it would cost like $5 a minute to run this thing, and we'd just run it forever, or a direct satellite feed, or they had everything. They had everything in the control room. So it was interesting to see that, right? But then to see the demise of CNN, as what it is right now, I'm gobsmacked, really. Just the lying, the blatant lying. It's a fall from grace, man.
Well, that's pretty much across like traditional medias, I guess the term now, right?
Yes.
So
yeah, it's unfortunate because I remember a time in that control room at CNN, like questions were asked. If something didn't seem right, or maybe that wasn't true, or maybe we're positioning that a little bit odd. People would question.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like they do right now. It seems like they've got a bit
know,
of
it
an
was
agenda.
my like aha moment was that viral clip going around when it was like 50 different newscasters saying the same script, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yep. Press
Open
release,
your
talking
eyes.
points. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happens. They've got, clips like that on a number of topics as well.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
watch the news. I read stuff online. I get stuff from Reddit, and then I like independent journalists I follow.
Yeah.
Listen to their podcasts and things like that.
I think that's great. And,
Yeah.
they don't have as much in the game. They
They're
want to seek
independent.
out the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, I like, at least for American news, I like listening to Crystal and Sagar. One's Democratic, one's conservative, and they do it together.
Oh, that's good.
And they both have opposing views because they're both with different parties.
Yep.
And I was like, this is great. Like, they're both trying to find a middle ground.
I think we need more of that
Yeah,
because it's very divided right now.
100%. Which
Yeah.
is kind of like, I'll have not anyone on here, but I want a good spectrum of people on the...
Who wouldn't? Yeah. Well, you don't have to
Podcast.
name names, but why wouldn't you have someone on?
There is a filmmaker that made a documentary about a hot topic that I can't touch at the moment, unfortunately. You probably know.
Yeah. And why wouldn't you explore that documentary? By having him on is not, the opinions expressed in the following podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the host.
That's true. It's just like I'm navigating it in a cautious way just because, I don't have like that, what they call it, like fuck you money. It's like if I get attacked.
You also have nothing to lose then.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like if you're set, like you can kind of say whatever you want, right?
I don't know. I don't have much, and I just went through the ringer,
That's
and I
true.
still stuck with saying what I thought and I believed. And look, I don't have to agree with everything that's even in my film. I just present it.
As
In
it
fact,
is.
I would have liked more counter arguments, but no one wanted to talk to me.
That's crazy.
Totally crazy.
Do you want to? Well, do you want to keep going with your story? You want to
Oh,
dive
it's up.
into that?
Whatever you want. Whatever
We got a solid 45 minutes.
You'll edit this, right? Down to
I don't
20
edit.
minutes,
No.
and just
Nope.
take the top parts.
Every
Okay.
word.
Gee, because we just did a real software dive,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
deep dive, and I don't
I
know.
do it
if
all the
people-
time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd say at least half these guests are film related. So
Yeah.
just
okay.
because of my network. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, people know.
They know what they're getting into.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's a good pivot into.
You want to pivot into that?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So you made a documentary.
Yeah. Called "Why Can't We Talk About This?"
Yeah. And do you want to give like a quick synopsis on it?
Yeah. Well, the film follows my friend, a man from Waterford called Michael Osh, and he shortly after his fourth shot, his second booster, he had a neurological event where eventually he lost. He became paralyzed. He lost all feeling and movement in his body, and he ended up in long-term care. And he's just a couple years older than me, in his mid to late 50s. And so my film follows him trying to figure out, what's happened to him and get some recognition or acknowledgement for it, and then try to get some treatment, because you can't get treatment unless somebody's going to diagnose you and sort of acknowledge what you have. And then as I was following him, the film starts to follow me as I am trying to talk to people and trying to learn, what has happened to him and get people to speak on camera, and finding that, that's very difficult. Very, very difficult. That for whatever reasons, a variety of reasons, many people just do not want to talk about the subject of vaccine injuries.
Because I think, it's like the government and just society in general has pressured them into not doing it. Yeah. And I think like, at least when we were in the thick of it, like there was a risk of losing your license, correct? Probably.
Yeah,
As a
even
physician?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the main things we do explore in the film is that why were these doctors, who were asking questions, who were maybe critical, were threatened with losing their licenses, or did lose their license, or were reprimanded.
And they just get labeled as like anti-vax.
Yep.
But they're actual virologists and physicians. And
Absolutely.
They're pulling from actual, they did how many years in medical
Exactly.
school?
Dr. Chris Shoemaker, who's in it, is a physician, and
Is he the one from British Columbia?
no, he is the one from Ottawa.
Oh, from Ottawa. Okay. All right.
He was the one that was reprimanded by the College of Physicians and Surgeons, and he has these shots. He had 2 of the vaccine shots, and he gave it to his patients. It wasn't, and as is any good doctor, what you would think would dive into the research as it's coming down, and go beyond just, okay, here's the Health Canada guidelines. Like, this is not dogma. This should be questioned. Science is is okay to be questioning science. If that was the case, that we didn't question it, we'd still be giving mercury for like so many things, like syphilis. They used to give mercury for syphilis. They believed in the 60s
Oh my God.
that was a good treatment. Oxycontin. We were promised that it was safe and not addictive. Well, look
Yep.
at that. We're struggling with an epidemic.
Yep. And that was, well, like I watched all those documentaries about Oxycontin, and they just sort of like snuck the results through the trials.
Totally.
And like they knew.
Yep.
They knew.
Yes, and so why is this any different? So it is a bit weird to like, to experience that through OxyContin, like where it hit like just working guys in the trades hurt their back and they get prescribed OxyContin before they know it, they're an addict.
I know people personally.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and then to see us go through that and not learn anything from it with like a new technology, the mRNA vaccines, which we know very little about the general public anyways, and they're still experimental. Anyways, but Dr. Chris Shoemaker, like he was giving it to his patients and everything, and just because he decided to go look deeper into this, and then he found that, okay, this isn't right, something's not right. He questioned it, and he was punished for it, lost his practice.
Really? They took it from him?
Oh, yes. Like there's about 50 doctors in Ontario just alone. 50, 60 that are various, and now they've had to rescind those, the fines or the punishments or whatever because they realize they don't really have.
Their reputation's always going to be harmed, though.
Oh, totally. Like it's done, and it's a shame. It's a shame that that's what we went through. So, whether it's trauma, from those 4 years, maybe 3-4 years of what we called, there's so many issues. There's learning gaps in kids. There's social anxiety with people. There's possible vaccine injuries. Some people were really nasty online during those. Like, do you not remember the? Can I just pull this up?
Yes, please.
If I can just.
And any information I know you brought. Do you want me to grab your paper too? Is there anything on there you want to read?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll grab it, but I don't know if I want to read. It was just some notes for us, but I just wanted to. If I could, maybe cut this out as you grab that. But I don't know. No editing at all. This is the cover of the Toronto Star at the height of the vaccine mandates, okay? If an unvaccinated person catches it from someone who is vaccinated, boo-hoo, too bad. I have no empathy left for the willfully unvaccinated. Let them die. I honestly don't care if they die from COVID, not even a little bit. Unvaccinated patients do not deserve ICU beds. That's how we talk to each other. We forgot that. We forgot that. We've moved on from that. That was the case.
Anxiety does strange things.
It really does. And I get it. And I try to have some, sympathy and empathy and patience. Look, I have 2 of these shots.
Yeah, we all do.
We're all trying to do the right thing or do what we thought, Nobody had a problem with, 2 weeks to flatten the curve and that. But it just went on and it went on. It was 2 years. We were in the lockdowns 2 years in. It was just.
And I think people were panicking. The government was panicking. And we need to provide some solution to our citizens or they're freaking out. And I think they're like, we need to rush this. And then, Moderna and all these companies are like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, safe and effective, stops transmission. You give it to your citizens. And Canada put a bid in and started administering it. And then
we learned very quickly it's not effective because it doesn't stop transmission because everybody still got it. In fact, we got it.
And when that came out, that's when I was like, well, why, even if it's 5% of people who have an adverse reaction, like maybe still get it. There's a risk even then, but I was like, we shouldn't be mandating it, even if we know it's not stopping transmission. Because then, like, why mandate it then if it's not?
Why are you giving it to healthy people? Healthy people have a very good shot. Kids have the numbers for kids to beat COVID is like astronomical. You're looking at like 0.001 to have a negative effect to the virus.
Anxiety and paranoia in the government's. I don't know. I feel like they didn't know what to do.
Well, doubling down doesn't help.
No,
it doesn't help. But we have a government that's been in power for 9 years that loves to double down. Every time we're saying, "Hey, maybe this isn't working." No, double down. But anyways, I digress.
So this what's his name again? Sorry,
Michael.
So initially, when I was watching your doc, they thought it might have been transverse myelitis. So TM. What is that? And it's not. It wasn't that. But they thought it might.
Well,
be.
It's kind of a form of that, except for look, I'm not a doctor, so you and I are talking about this like filmmakers.
Yes, I'm taking the information strictly from your documentary.
Yes, the scientists and the doctors in my film explain it.
Yeah,
properly.
and he'll fact check some things for us.
But TM, I believe, is mitochondria in your spine is damaged and you start to lose movement, function,
Yeah.
but it can be temporary. Most times it's temporary.
Okay, so
and
you
it can
can
come
reverse
back.
it.
You can reverse it, yes. So he kind of still has that diagnosis a little bit hanging over there, but really, officially, they just say it's an atypical neurological effect, which means like we don't know what the hell's wrong with you. So therefore, there's no treatment. Official treatment.
Because there's no, they're not defining it.
Exactly. He's not diagnosed him with anything.
And so, what he thinks, and in the documentary, it's what's the term here? The spike protein term, spike protein, like a latent spike protein infection.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And from what I got from the documentary is just his body's producing just an extreme amount of these spike proteins. His body's attacking himself. Correct?
Yeah, so how the mRNA vaccine works is it's basically a blueprint
Yeah.
that we inject into our cells. A traditional vaccine takes a dormant version of the virus
the actual
itself, of the
virus.
actual virus,
Yeah.
very, very weakened, and it injects it into your body, and then your white blood cells see that.
They
and
recognize it.
Yep, they recognize it and say, okay, we'll attack that, and we'll practice, and then when the real thing comes, we'll be ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is different. This is like a blueprint that's injected into your own cell. So you're telling your cell now, change to look like this virus. And the easy way to do that is to create these spike proteins. So it creates these spike proteins, and then, well, what's your body going to do? Because now it needs to attack those. It attacks those cells with the spike protein.
Which is your own cells.
Exactly. So you end up basically destroying your own immune system. So what happens is, the first shots, these shots, honestly, if you talk to every science and look at every study and using these for cancer, the mRNA vaccines for cancer, Ebola, they're one and done. You take one shot. That's it. You get in, you do that, and you get out. Not 4. They're not to be 4 because you just keep. Okay, it's like you said, you got all your cells, and then you say, okay, we're going to make these cells pink. And every time you see a pink cell, you're going to attack those and get those. But you keep injecting the instructions. So your body keeps making more. So basically what you have is it's long COVID. It's like you have this, like you said, the spike, long-term, latent spike protein infection. Your just body is constantly making it, and the spike protein is toxic, and you're basically just going to have a low-level viral infection. If you're lucky. That's why people, a lot of people have this long COVID, or they just feel this like lethargic, constantly sick, kind of have battling something all the time.
Yeah, for years.
For years.
Yeah.
If they've had a number of boosters, they just keep telling your body turns into a factory.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be possibly what we think is happening to Michael.
But we don't know because he can't get tested for it, right?
Correct. There is not a test in Canada that will tell you, how much spike protein you have, or if your body's, I think it works that they do a test and then they come back and test again. And if they see an increase, like you should be flushing out the spike protein. You should do your 2 shots.
Over time.
And over time it should be, your body should be breaking down those cells. You're kind of losing the instructions and that. But if you keep making sure you got the instructions every year, you're going to keep going. Now, he hasn't had any since the 4, so you got to see where his level is now, but maybe it just keeps making it, right? So those tests are available in the U.S.
Okay, but so he could get the test, but he'd have to pay out of pocket?
Yes, and he's paralyzed. So how do you get a man who's paralyzed in long-term care to the U.S.?
To get a test.
Yeah, it could cost $100,000.
And nobody will cover it. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, it could be astronomical.
So that is why. And
Oh,
the
it's
government,
absolutely.
And so the government doesn't want to even look into the potential of him.
Why would they?
Because it costs money.
Cost money, and it would open Pandora's box.
Yeah. And
So they don't really want to drive that bus. They don't want to be the one pushing that. So there are some independent agencies from Europe that are looking to bring the test to other countries, like
Okay.
Canada.
Okay.
Like a urine test. So you could do tests
And
and
they can
find
let you
out.
know.
Yeah, and this is not just from the vaccine. Like you can get spike from the actual virus. So what if you
Yes.
just kept getting COVID or whatever? You could have a problem. Everybody's body's different, right? Everybody can handle medicine and viruses differently.
Well, and I think that's why I would say the majority of people who got the mRNA vaccine are fine. But that 5%, like Michael, were not fine.
Yeah, so I would break it down a little bit further, and I would say you're fine for now.
Yeah.
It's a long term, like we don't know what the other health negatives are, and if it takes time, because
we've never taken it before.
No, and we don't have any tests. We don't have a control group. We don't have a test group. We are the test group, and you don't know. We already know this has massive effects on our cardiology.
Yeah, like the myocarditis.
Yeah, pericarditis was the one.
Pericarditis. It was like inflammation of the heart. Right?
And I tell you, like anecdotally, like I know tons of people who were diagnosed at that time with like MS and Guillain-Barre's, and those are all similar issues with your body to like what's going through Michael.
Like
but they just
yeah,
and like people have just been, oh, you got MS. Do they really have MS, or is this something that was brought upon by the vaccine? Because Guillain-Barre's, MS, what Michael has, transverse myelitis, they all kind of have the same symptoms. They're all kind of in the same circle, and there's a lot of people.
The source of the problem is very similar in terms of the autoimmune.
Yeah, they
part.
may have all these different diseases, but what caused it? Was it just brought upon by themselves, or was it,
Yeah, we don't know.
Because we can't test it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't know, okay, maybe this person has MS, but there's like zero spike in their body. There's no issue, Okay, you got it the old-fashioned way, I guess. I don't know. I'm just the filmmaker here again.
Yes.
Just please double-check all of that stuff. But what one interesting thing, the film has a sponsor.
Yeah.
Now we just have an agreement with a organization out of Italy, which sells a supplement called Augmented NAC, which is I have to go in. Maybe we can
Augmented NAC.
Augmented NAC, NAC, and it is a what is it?
Like just
Augmented NAC, yeah, right there. We should use, if you can get a quick little.
Should I do just put in Italy somewhere?
Or just put a definition.
There's AI overview.
Oh, refers to a supplement that aims to enhance the effects of this one molecule. It's a compound known as a strong antioxidant, which can flush out the spike protein.
Okay.
So Michael's taking that supplement, and he's seeing some benefits.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
That's great.
That's good.
Baby steps here, though.
Yeah.
But, it's connecting the spike protein.
Yeah.
Right? That he's flushing it out, and therefore some function is returning.
Yeah, but his body's, as we've learned, is going to keep making them, right?
Yeah, I don't know the answer.
But we
to
don't
that.
know.
We don't
'cause he
know.
can't get
We
the
don't
tests.
know. We don't
Yeah.
know. We don't know if, the thought would be, I'm kind of jumping ahead here, because we're working on this story too. Like, I want to make a sequel of hope with a solution.
Yeah, especially if he gets the treatment he needs and turns around.
Right. So if this supplement works as it has with other people who have done testimonies to flush out the spike protein, then that will stop the continuation of the damage that it's doing. But then, of course, now he has to build his body back up and the myelin in his spine and all that. So there are other supplements, but whatever.
One thing I'd ask you is, do you know where the spike protein is stored in our body? Like, is it in the plasma? Is it in the blood itself?
Our cells become it.
So yeah.
So that means
We can.
So yeah, do you want to
Do you want to bring up that little clip? I timed it. Just go to the YouTube. Just click that. Oh, hold on. Hit
will it
pause.
play for us?
If you go to the settings, you just gotta change the audio output to the soundboard. If you go to sound settings, sorry, he's not a Mac guy.
No.
Oh,
I'm Microsoft.
Here, hold on.
In the virus
There we go.
particle itself. On the surface of the virus, the largest protein is the spike protein. And this protein enables the virus to attach to cells of the body so that it can get in. Being one of the largest proteins and being present on the virus itself, it's a target for the development of vaccine. And so the idea is that we use the genetic instructions, that portion of the genome of the virus that just encodes the spike protein, and we put it in these lipid nanoparticles, which then deliver that genetic information inside of cells, because these lipid nanoparticles go through cell membranes very easily. And then what happens is the cell's own machinery sees this genetic information called mRNA, messenger RNA, ribonucleic acid, and then makes that protein, just like the virus protein. But what it's doing is, after it manufactures the protein, it sends it to the surface of the cell, so it sticks out of the cell, just like it sticks out of the virus, to then stimulate an immune response.
All right, you can pause that.
Okay.
Yeah, so essentially it's becoming almost like a sneaky version of the virus. It's not
like a
really
Trojan-
the virus.
Trojan horse
A
almost.
Trojan horse, exactly. And your body's like, oh, it's the virus attack, but it's your own cells.
And that's literally a part of all the cells.
Yeah,
So they say it's supposed to stay at the arm, but it can't. It just goes to wherever cells are. It can go all over. They're finding it in our reproductive organs,
even
and
in
other-
pregnant women, like in the,
Yes.
in the placenta, right? It goes through the blood barrier.
Yes.
Blood, yeah.
The blood-brain barrier.
It'll
or
go in
whatever
your
the
brain, goes everywhere. So it's
So not only that, but then the process, because we get into the process because Dr. David Speecher, who's from Hamilton, he's a virologist, he was tasked with like testing the process, the manufacturing process, because the reality is to make a real vaccine takes like 50 years. There's no shortcuts. I know Theresa Tam wants to come out and say, oh my gosh, we're coordinating together so greatly that we're going to make this happen. No, that's not. It doesn't matter how much money you throw at it. The reality is the reality. It takes time to do these. Well, they were so rushed that there is synthetic DNA that was used to sort of make the messenger DNA. It should have been scraped out during the manufacturing process, and it wasn't. And then another shortcut is the SV40 enhancer, which is used to sort of, I'm not sure exactly how it's used.
you can look that up.
Yeah, it's used in vaccine manufacturing, and it's supposed to be taken out, and it was left in there too.
Yeah.
And so those are all toxic.
Because I think that's also used in the there's a vaccine we get as kids, and I think it's something related to SV40. I don't quite remember, but
Why is that?
oh, it's just loading.
Okay.
It wants you to pick one of them. Pick a response. I got a bit of a glare, so if there's anything good there, you might have to read it there for me, Brandon.
I'm just doing a little skim here.
Yeah. SV40 enhancer, commonly around 72 base pairs. But anyways, it wasn't supposed to be included, and it was. And so were people obviously testing these and picking it up?
Yeah, so that's what
Yeah.
Dr. David Speecher's work was. And they
Okay.
found,
So he's testing
there's
the-
batches. There's
Yeah.
batches that were just really not made as they were supposed to make.
Yeah. So it
and-
wasn't so much the design, it was just the manufacturing process.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, there's some sketchy stuff because Health Canada, one of an MP from I think from the Ottawa area really latched onto this and was questioning Health Canada and the House of Commons, and they were like, yeah, it's there, but it's no big deal. It's no big deal. And then they were emailing Pfizer going, hey, why is this stuff in there? It's not supposed to be in there. And we had those emails because of the Freedom of Information Act. So there's just a lot of dishonesty with these and lack of transparency.
And money.
That's part of what this is saying. It's like, found as a residual contamination from plasmid template, not intentionally included,
Yeah,
But it was.
but it's there.
but it's there and they found it. So that is causing that's causing potentially this turbo cancer that we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of cancer right now. I also think like if you go 4 years without letting people check anything about their health other than COVID, you're going to have big pile up of health issues afterwards. I mean, that's where we were, right? Everything was put on hold for 3 years pretty much. Everything
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
surgeries, everything.
Everything. And so we're paying for that. We're paying right now with our health and our with our wallet right now, our economy. We just can't. Oh, it's just disastrous. And it just to sit there and
Us Canadians, we're just so nice, and now we're dealing with a tariff war on top.
yeah, but all pain is self-inflicted. What do you do?
Yeah.
The tariffs that you pay are put on. Well, now the liberals have
Well, it's
taken them
both.
off.
Yeah. I mean, the Americans are tariffing too. That's why there's no bourbon anywhere, sadly. But
No, there could be bourbon, but they've taken it off the shelves here. So let me talk about this. So you want to boycott, not you, but I mean you boycott American booze. Only could a crown corporation or a government-run organization like the LCBO take a bunch of product that they've already paid for and take it off the shelves and not sell it.
oh, I see what you mean.
No mom and pop shop, no
Well-
independent shop would do that. That is like why we're one of the least efficient, productive economies in the world.
When I was bartending, I would have people come and there was a whiskey program there,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh no, we're boycotting American whiskey." I'm like, "Oh no, the only person you're hurting here is the restaurant because they have already purchased it. They purchased this bourbon
Yep.
like 2 years ago.
Yep.
It's just been sitting here. It's all in reserve. So I'm like, please buy the bourbon until it's gone. All that money will go to this Canadian
Exactly.
owner of this restaurant.
But that's why I just said, Doug Ford, you're really a conservative? Really? You're a businessman? Really? Because that's what you do in socialist countries. China, you can pay for everything and you can take it off the shelf because you don't have to make a profit, whatever.
Yeah, it's theirs anyways.
Whatever, yeah. But here I don't expect that.
Yeah. People are just, I like the patriotism and the people want to, stand up for the country and they like living here and stuff, but people get hurt in the process.
Yeah, and it's self-inflicted. That's the whole thing. Like the tariffs that we have to deal with are not put on by Trump.
So why is he talking about tariffs then?
Well, he's looking out for America, for sure.
Yes.
So he wants better deals for America. Some countries he has good deals, and some countries he doesn't have good deals. Wants better deals. We have a lot of issues here. There's a lot to be upset with Canada about. Do you know what supply chain management is? That's our milk industry. Americans cannot get into our milk industry. That's why
process.
No,
different regulations.
300% tariffs. Oh. We have tariffed American milk since the 70s.
Yeah, strategic.
Yeah. So how come we can do it, but he can't do it? Do you know why we have an automobile industry? We don't make Canadian cars. There's not a Canadian car. It's an American car. But we said if you're going to sell it to us, you're going to make them here.
Yeah.
Well, he's saying the same thing. If you're going to sell Americans, the biggest consumer market, then you're going to make more things here. So I don't know why I don't know. I just have a hard time.
In my head, I always thought okay, the reason why we don't want to buy American booze is because he's putting an extra sort of levy on it.
No, we did. We put the
are.
levy. So here's the thing. Tariffs are put on by your own country, and they affect your citizens.
That's duty, right?
It's duty. Yeah. Exactly. So we pay that. So if the liberals say we're going to fight Trump in a tariff war, we're going to pay for it. It's a tax on us because we're not tariffing their people. We're tariffing the American products come in that our people buy.
So when he's talking about tariffs, he's going to tax Canadian products
into America.
I see,
so
we're taxing
this is why Doug Ford fricked up.
See.
Yeah, nobody understands that. And so everybody gets upset and gets their elbows out, and nobody looks into the actual issue and understands the fundamental economics of it. So Doug Ford completely got his ass kicked because he, when Trump says I'm going to tariff Canadian stuff, so it's tariffing steel and aluminum that's coming into America. He's punishing his own people.
Yeah, he's
so to
charging
speak,
them
right?
to buy our product.
Yeah,
I see.
Carney's doing the same thing, but then Ford came out and said, well, I'm going to not sell you electricity. Who does that punish? The American people. You can't do that. See, I can punish my kids. You can punish your kids, but I can't punish your kids.
Yeah.
And Doug Ford tried to do that.
I think we
follow
supply most of the power for all of the states.
Yeah. So he
to our
was
border,
completely out of line. That's why he had to go down to Washington and get his ass kicked. And he came back and he's like, oh, everything's going to be fine. Because he stepped out of line. We can we can sort of hold our own people hostage. Our government does.
Yeah.
But we can't punish the American people. You can't, you've stepped that boundary. You don't understand tariffs.
Yeah. I don't dabble into. I keep track of it a little bit. And I was like, what can I do? I'm like, sadly.
You're voting though. You're voting. Sadly,
yes, I am
that's
voting,
the hard part. Yeah, good. Yeah, but I wish that people were more informed. It's sad. I know everybody gets a vote, but man, it was just like watching that last campaign. And I tell you, both sides sounded the same.
Yeah.
Both sounds. I was not happy with either one of those campaigns.
Yeah. Like traditionally, I'm from Hamilton, which is an NDP area. Yeah. So I used to vote NDP, but I haven't in a long time. But somebody was telling me that Singh wants to get rid of nuclear reactors, like power plants. I'm like, well,
who?
Singh.
No, he's gone.
Okay, yeah. So, before
I think the NDP wanted to get rid of him.
He was anti-nuclear, and I'm like, well, what else do you get the power from? Do you burn coal?
I know.
Do you burn gas?
Well, we villainize nuclear right now.
Nuclear's great.
Nuclear's fantastic. It's like airplanes, Okay,
efficient.
yes, yes.
There's Chernobyl. I know there's some
when it happens, it's terrible.
Yes.
It's like an airplane crash, right?
Yes.
But it's still the safest form of travel.
Yes.
And I think nuclear's that way.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, just not enough people.
Understand. I don't know why he took that stance. It was a very weird stance.
And technology is only advancing, so
yeah, it's only getting better.
Why are you getting rid of that and going back to coal? It's just
or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever your plan would be.
Yeah. Anyways, we're off topic.
That's okay.
It's okay.
You're you're in the thick of all that, right? So, like I said, you're a bit of a journalist. So
yeah, it's a bit of a hobby, I guess. During COVID and lockdowns, I really kind of dove into some of these issues. I've always been interested in economics. I mean, I studied that at university as well as my little minor there. But so I do the reading and I try to dive into these things, which
I had a professor on, and his whole thesis and focus was Trumpism, and he wrote like a ton of academic papers on him. So I had him on before he was reelected. So I got to have this professor back on now.
Is he anti or pro? Because I got to believe anti.
I would say
'cause
anti.
Yeah, because I've never met.
But he's very educational. Like he's just, that's his focus has always been Trump. So, and he's like even created certain terms and things like that. I can't quite remember it was a long time ago.
I'll have to watch that.
One of the first 10, I would say, or something like that.
Yeah.
Interesting guy. Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, I can't. My memory's gone. You'd have to pull it up, but it's a good one. I want to have him back on though.
Yeah, definitely check in,
especially with all this tariff stuff going on.
Yeah, which is it's winding down now.
Yeah,
we never got the tariff inflation that they promised us. Never happened. And Carney's come out and said, "Oh wow, we got a good deal already with America." Really? When you were running for election, you said it was the biggest crisis we've ever faced, and that we'd have to look to Europe. And
when you want to win, you'll say what.
So how, as a voter, how do you feel? Yeah, he either lied to you or was wrong. Mm-hmm. I want our governing officials to govern. I would like to cut back on the politicking.
Yeah.
It's they're just not, and we can see it the last 4 years is on both sides. It's like one uniparty, just sort of keeping the status quo and keeping themselves in power.
Yeah, and then they piss off, and it swings the other way, and then they piss them off, and it swings the other way.
Yeah.
I think America's just gone back and forth constantly.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Not
so much. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, no, not here, not here, which is like the definition of insanity,
Yeah, and we don't have freedom of speech here, which I learned.
Yeah, it surprises me how few people understand the Online News Act, the bill that was put through.
America's the only one that has that.
Yep.
Any Commonwealth country does not have free speech.
No.
Especially, like, I've heard it's pretty bad in the UK. They were, like, arresting people for tweets.
Memes.
Yeah.
I got a buddy over there. I was on a couple of podcasts in the UK, and one buddy who used to work at CNN, and he's in the UK now, and he's open-minded. I like to think I'm open-minded, at least reading the independent media and questioning things, and a lot of people don't like that I question things, but he's kind of the same, and he says, it's getting really bad over there, that there's that the people are getting really frustrated, and he's like, it could be a riot in the street. There could be wars in the streets because it's just getting so repressive.
Yeah.
Or oppressive.
Yeah, almost dictatorship-like. A little scary.
Yeah, and I don't understand the reasoning. Everybody can see that some mistakes were made.
Yeah, it was the whole. I don't want to dive into that, but the whole equality thing and the cancellation and the Me Too, and I think it's just like there's always an overcorrection. I find until the needle ticks back, right?
The pendulum.
The pendulum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we swung all the way this way. We're like canceling everybody.
Well, guess where we're going now? I don't know.
We'll see. And that's also my fear about having I'll talk about that a bit after about the person I want on. I'm just a little cautious about it.
Yeah.
Just because of the film he made. But I don't know. I don't want to get canceled. Even though that's it's gotten much better.
I
think always a fear in the back of my mind.
Thankfully,
or I just don't want to be attacked. Really,
I know, but it's such a time that it's like if you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. Like
which is exactly why I brought you on. Even though after watching your documentary, I'm like, oh, this isn't a big deal at all. Like he's not anti-vax. He's just like, hey, be cautious about this mRNA
Wasn't
vaccine.
talking about gay frogs or anything in there,
nothing
or
at
trying
all.
to be like, some big conspiracy.
He even explained it with animation and everything. It was great. And I was like, I don't understand the big deal.
Well, the Strand and Simcoe, they would not screen the film.
Because I think it's just a hot topic.
He said that he feels bad for Michael and hope Michael feels better, but he can't show the film because of the doctors. And I said, wow, a cinema manager knows better than my scientists and my doctors. That's really something. That's really something.
I get it though. Like as a business owner, he's fearful that especially you don't want people boycotting your movie theater.
Well, nobody's boycotting. It's not hit that level.
No, but if he did play it, I wonder if there would be boycotts. Just because they don't fully understand the film. I didn't, and
no, but he did.
Did he watch it?
Oh, of course he watched it. And that's why I was
But even still, I feel like people won't even come and see it, and then they'll just boycott that theater. Like, hey, this guy's anti-vax. People just label, right? That's the problem. It's fear.
Yeah. But it is a shame because, our industry has a long history of talking about things you're not supposed to talk about.
push the
Pushing-
boundaries.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so to not get that by your own community, which I've experienced, because it's not just the Strand and Simcoe, it's also theaters in Toronto. And they say, even some community centers where they say, okay, we watched it, it's pretty good. It's pretty balanced.
Yeah.
But we're just really scared of the backlash.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but I bet you if he was gay or transsexual, you'd be all over it.
Yeah. Hot
topic.
Hot topic, because that seems to be very popular right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a shame, because he's not alone. There's thousands of these people in Canada, and they're just suffering in silence.
Yeah. With no way to really get the answer for it.
No, because if you won't acknowledge what's
Yeah.
happening, then you can't get treatment.
Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to mention was, because there was a lawyer on there for a bit, eh?
Yeah.
And so there is some kind of program. There's a vaccine injury program. I assume it's not governmental.
Yeah, no, it is governmental. Oh, you
governmental.
didn't hear about all this? So we broke the story that it's not being run very well.
I was telling Brandon about it a little bit.
Yeah, so it was a program set up by the Liberal government because they knew there would be issues.
And it is called the Vaccine Injury
Support Program, yeah.
So that's them sort of acknowledging that it is a thing.
Yes, and the reason why it's struggling, they say, is because it is overwhelmed. What does that mean?
A lot of injuries.
A lot of injuries, yes. And so we actually broke the story first that it is kind of sketchy. Do you see that part in the film?
Because it's being run by an
accounting firm? Yeah, that spun off another
and so they got a lump sum of money, but only a fraction of it has gone out.
Yeah, something like $75 million has been given to them, and like maybe $17 million went to victims.
To help.
54 went to administer the program. So it's your classic liberal scandal. They have a lot of scandals like that where their buddies do it very well, just like the Arrive Can scandal or...
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That was crazy.
It's totally crazy. You don't have a smartphone, no, pay $30,000 in fees. Okay, for not having this app. But so we broke that story, and then Global News broke it after us. They say they broke it, but my film was first. But yeah, they did a 5-part investigation into the vaccine injury support program, and it started to get some traction as a story because it was like a 5-part investigative story, and they voted in the House of Commons whether they were going to investigate internally, and the Liberals blocked it. So we won't get any answers as to what's going on with that.
So, like, in order to receives money from this program that they set up for vaccine injuries, do they have to define as getting vaccine injured?
Well, that would help if your doctor would say.
But like they've given out 17 million, right? So they've given
Yeah.
money out to
Yeah,
some
there are
people.
some. Yep, there are some.
And so did they have to acknowledge the injury?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
So why aren't they acknowledging Michael's?
It's just a process. It's like insurance.
Bloated.
Insurance. Okay, I'll pay you for your.
Oh, I know
house.
insurance.
Exactly,
Yes,
right?
Yes. I'm still dealing with it.
There you go. So imagine that about this, which is so political.
I wrote a quote and it just made me so sad, but he said, "I've been left to fall through the holes of the medical system. Unless there's a smoking gun, they're going to deny me." So, oh man.
Yeah, that's it. It's like it's attrition. It's just wear him out until he's done.
Yeah.
You know, 3 people are featured in the film, and 2 of them have answers, and it's their nose, their hard nose. Feel really bad for your situation, but we just don't think it's connected to this.
Well, how would you know unless you got that spike protein test?
Well, yeah, they're just going to hide under that forever. But my thing is, you had billions of dollars to get everybody to take this. Yeah, billions. Think of the media spend. Think of all those public advertisements, having security guards show up to make sure you got your papers. That whole program, that billions to make sure you have nothing for these people. I say it should be a pretty low bar.
Yeah, and I think that is sort of like, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like sort of the oomph behind your documentary. It's like, where's the support for these people? It's not, hey, don't take vaccines.
No,
But I think that was maybe the Strand's caution, is that's what people would perceive it as.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate too, because you don't have to accept everything that's said in a picture as your own personal truth.
Yes.
It's something to
It's a
consider.
story.
I watch tons of movies.
Yeah.
I tell you, I know the filmmaker you're talking about. I would watch that film. I know him, have argued on that topic. We are on polar opposites of that target, but I would still watch his film.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem I'm not scared of free speech. We seem to be here. We seem to be really scared of things that make us feel uncomfortable or go against our own opinion. And that's not good for society.
No, we need.
You need to hear both sides.
Yeah, 100%. And I loved what that doctor said from British Columbia. He's like, listen to the other side. He's like, where you're going to find the answer is in the middle. Listen to both sides, and the answer is somewhere in the middle.
And that's true for so many things.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a guy who had a degree in literature, and he's a school teacher now and a theater actor, but he had this, like, I'm going to paraphrase. He had this beautiful quote, but he's like, you know, a good way to understand the world is to understand all voices in the world, even those that you disagree with.
Maybe even more so.
Yeah, and that's sort of what prompted me to be like, okay, I got to get Dean on here.
Because I was asking, I was like, he's worked on a couple of my shows, and I've never been on his show.
No. But you've always been on my list. I've just been going down the list.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Yeah.
So, but then, you wanted to promote this doc, and I was like, I knew this was a hot topic, and I knew there was a lot of heat on this doc, and you in particular. But I was like, I watched it, and I was like, oh, yeah. Let's get him on here.
Then it's no big deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is, and it's just one man's personal story.
Yeah.
And I think we do a good job with the science. And
yeah.
I think it's a good primer. You know, it's a good place to start, just sort of on the topic, and to sort of get an overall on it.
Just for people who don't know, like, get your traditional vaccine. Like, this is completely different. Is sort of what we're saying. The mRNA. It's not the same. It's not the same as the flu shot. It's not the same as the cold. Like, not the same. I just got my tetanus shot. Like, you should get vaccinated. Like, we don't want measles.
Well, you're not a doctor either, so be careful of giving health advice.
That's true. Yes.
I would say consult your doctor for what's the best choice for you.
Yes.
If you don't mind me.
Talk to your physician.
Yeah.
Talk to your physician.
We're just a couple of movie makers here.
Yes. And everybody's different, and you may have, I don't know, comorbidities, and you shouldn't take something. I don't know. Who knows?
I tell you, once the film went out, the floodgates opened.
Yeah.
I have heard from so many people. I get phone calls, I get physical letters from all over the world. Thank you for being brave enough to talk about this subject. I was injured. I know somebody who's injured. There are way more people than we think are out there. And, even people that are like, I've heard, I met people that were hurt by other vaccines, and they weren't addressed properly either. So it brought on some real hesitancy overall. And I think, man, I would love to see some more transparency. And
vaccines are great. They've like eliminated some diseases, but it's not 100%.
Yeah, like
nothing is.
No, and I think we shouldn't underestimate the own wonders of our own immune system.
Yeah.
It's a pretty incredible thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, they tried to tell me margarine was better than butter. So, I don't know. That sticks in my head, too. Well, I'm like, I got to take every study with a grain of salt.
Even a personal story for me and Brandon, our grandfather passed in high school, but he passed from asbestos.
Oh,
and
God.
So they knew
Yep.
it caused cancer back in, I think, the 50s or 60s, but it was so profitable that they just put a fund aside for when they got sued in 30, 40 years.
Yep, that it became probably the economic choice it was be cheaper in the long run to do that.
To get
keep
sued
going.
than to cut the product.
Yeah, totally.
Until it gets bad enough where they're forced to.
Yeah, totally. Or somebody takes that out politically and thinks, okay, now it's time to short the asbestos industry.
Yeah. So like even with this mRNA vaccine, and they were like, hey, you know what? There are some risks involved here, but let's push it out because money.
Yeah, and I just can't believe everybody got so excited about it. Like,
I think they were just sick and terrified of the lockdowns and terrified of the virus. And there was this paranoia.
Really?
Right?
We were. See, I wasn't terrified. Okay, first of all, I lived in Hong Kong during SARS.
Oh yeah, which
so
is
I was
like
at ground zero. Oh, totally.
Yeah,
it's the same. It's like just the next step
different
virus.
version. Yeah.
It's another virus that came from China or whatnot. And so that was ground zero. So it was north of Toronto there, the Chinese community as well there. But I was in the heart of it, and we did not have the same response. So I was very skeptical. And once I started to see, because we were all like 2 weeks to flatten the curve, for sure, no problem.
Yeah,
I'll wear a mask, I'll be careful, blah blah blah. But then now you're telling me things that just really don't make sense to even my grade 10 biology class, that just goes against my instincts, or what I believe about how the world works. Right? Don't go outside, don't go to the park, no exercise, stay at home, smoke cannabis, drink beer, eat bad takeout, stay locked home.
Yes.
Just all these things that were just like, what? And so then I started to, just question things then. So I wasn't scared of the virus because it was pretty clear like by April, May,
Yeah, unless
that the
you-
people that were really affected so were those with high risk, older people, and
comorbidities,
those
older sicknesses,
exactly,
cancers. Yeah.
healthy people, children, were going to be fine.
Yeah, but the rebuttal was, well, you should get it so you don't give it to them. You
Well,
should
they
get the
can get
vaccines.
it. They can get it. Then they won't get it from me. That's how vaccines work. But we were told they work a different way somehow.
Yeah,
Right?
the herd- yeah.
If you have a vaccine and I don't, you're protected from whatever I have. Right?
Supposed to. Well,
Supposed to be. Me getting
in a
it doesn't
sense,
help you.
Yeah, or at least to the point where you're not going to be hospitalized from it.
Well, we don't know that. That's another thing that I think is terrible science because we have no control group. We don't know what you are like with the virus and you are like with the virus after a vaccine. We have no measure.
Yeah,
and
the
we never
mRNA,
will. Once you're vaccinated, we will never have that measure.
Yeah. I'm more referring to like the flu or something like that. Like if you get the flu vaccine, it should stop you from getting super sick. You might still get the flu.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but it might just not be as severe. And the flu kills lots of people.
Mostly older people.
Yes.
Mostly high risk people.
Yes. But it's a people don't realize. Flu's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't realize too, though, our bodies are pretty miraculous too.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
really freaking are. And the less we frick with them, I think the better. Again, I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
But
When they're in their prime.
when they're in their prime, for sure, absolutely, right? And I'm losing that.
Yeah, things change. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on and talking about this. One more thing I want to mention was you want to talk about Dean and Jean?
Yeah, real quick if we
before
can.
we go out.
A
Yeah.
little lighter, yeah.
Yeah.
And you worked on the show.
I did.
So that's a show we made for Bell,
Yeah.
TV1, 5. And it's a sort of a cooking comedy show, reality, pseudo-reality, I guess.
With your wife.
With my wife,
Yeah.
who's from Thailand.
Yeah.
So we get that sort of intercultural, interracial relationship stuff, some fighting or arguing, or misunderstandings,
marital
miscommunication.
bickering.
Totally. So it's a lot of fun, and that now it's done its run on Bell, and now we got the rights back, so we're putting it out on YouTube.
Nice.
So check us out on YouTube. There's some great Thai food,
Yeah.
and then some funny things. I think the series gets more absurd as we work through it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, as I know, yeah. I got behind the scenes. I know the next. I wanted to mention, I rewatched it, and I love how Jean juices a lime.
Oh, is that?
She just cuts it in half, takes a spoon, and goes and just uses the spoon inside the lime. And all this. I've never
juice just
seen
comes right out?
anyone do that.
I know.
I was
Yeah.
watching the close-up, which probably me on the camera, and I was like, "Oh, that is genius." Yeah, she's a good cook.
She's a fantastic,
cook.
fantastic cook. Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's just wonderful. She's got sort of that traditional knowledge, from being from Thailand and small town. And all
Yeah.
that. She's really got.
How did you meet her? Obviously, there in Thailand, yeah.
No, in Hong Kong.
Oh, in Hong Kong.
Yeah, she was visiting. Her
Oh.
cousin was married to a Australian guy living in Hong Kong, so she was taking a break from Thailand. Had fit in between jobs and was like, "I'm going to go to Hong Kong, stay with my cousin, and just have a vacation." And so I met her actually in line for street Thai food.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
on a Friday night or something. I think I'd had a couple of drinks, a little bit of courage,
Got
and
talking?
I used the little Thai that I did know, and
Yeah.
I talked to her, and she seemed nice, and we went out, and I just had a fantastic time. This girl is, for me, beautiful, and just such a nice way about her. And then she started cooking, and then I was like, it's a done deal right there.
How did you? Was she reluctant to come to Norfolk County? Did she visit a few times before moving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So she came once and saw everything and loved it, and she could handle it. She could handle the cold. She could handle everything here.
Okay.
She's a country girl, so she was like, we're living in Waterford.
Okay, so the ruralness wasn't anything new. Just
No.
because I'm thinking Hong Kong.
Oh,
right?
totally,
Huge
right?
city,
That's
yeah.
what I thought too. And I was working in television, so I'm like, no, we're going to Toronto. We're moving from Hong Kong to Toronto. We're not going to Norfolk. And she's like, no, if we could live in Waterford, I really would like that. Oh, okay, happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
And, turns out with just video being able to expand on the internet changed everything.
Yeah.
So then I just traveled for gigs,
Yeah.
came back, edited it in the house or in the shop, and ran the production company here. And so that's why we got to stay. Yeah, like
Nice.
it wasn't my plan. I think it was the right plan. It was right. I couldn't imagine being in a condo in Toronto.
Oh, and you got kids now, and
Yeah.
they got a nice big backyard,
Yeah.
and good community.
Yeah, and so she loves it. And then she's got her catering business,
Yep.
Try Thai Tonight, and you can check it out online. And so it's really good. It's very popular around here for people who want to entertain at
Yeah.
home.
You can buy ingredients from it, right? as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, you can buy ingredients, and there's
Yeah.
recipes and all that on the website. So.
Nice. I'll link it everywhere.
Oh, thank
for
you. Yeah.
I'll put it on the description.
So it's been good. She's always pleased to share her culture and her food with
Yeah.
people here, and
Yeah.
they've really embraced her. They really have.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was her thoughts on the show after? Did she watch it?
Oh yeah, she
Yeah?
thinks it's wild. Yeah, she
Yeah.
shares a lot. I mean, my hat goes way off to her. She had no idea what she was getting into when she married me. Like, I'm gonna put you in a TV show,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be you and I, and it's gonna be amped up, and it was quite an experience for her. And I got to, like she doesn't speak English as her native language, right? You know, and so for her to do all that, I mean, we'd have some fun with it sometimes, but I got to tell you, I have so much admiration for her for doing that. I don't know if I'd be stepping up in Thailand and being her sidekick in a Thai cooking show
we
in
had
Thailand.
We had like 6 cameras. There was a lot
Oh,
of
it's
cameras
huge.
pointing at
Oh,
her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
a little nerve-wracking.
Way out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
totally.
Speaking a second language, like,
Right?
you know.
got a husband that's
Cooking.
hopped up on it, and in on everything, and
Yeah. No, it was good. I really enjoyed it.
thank
See
you.
a different side of you too, probably on set.
Yeah, definitely, right?
Well,
I
he
mean,
was-
I
he
amped
was
it
in
up a
front
lot.
of the camera for a while. Yeah, he's usually behind it, so.
Yeah, that was the concept, right? She's the boss in the kitchen, and I'm the boss usually on set. So what happens when we come together to make a show? Who's going to be the ultimate boss? The food or the thing? And that's where the conflict comes in, right? Yeah.
Yeah, when you're like, because you had to sort of make it from memory, right, after watching her.
Yeah.
And then she would add stuff, and he's like this, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you just not talk. I'm like, it's a TV show. You gotta talk. Or sometimes she just take things for granted how she did things, or she want things a certain
so
way.
natural to
yeah.
her as well.
Yeah. And then I
it's
try
all
to
here.
understand. Yes, totally. Like she doesn't measure anything.
Yes. Yeah. So you were
No.
you were trying to bring up measurement. She's like, yeah, a little bit of this.
If you like,
If
up
you
to
like,
you.
yeah.
It's a feeling. It's a
It's
feeling.
totally feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I cook the same way.
Do you?
all
Yes,
feeling.
good. But do you taste all the time then? Like you constantly taste it?
Constantly.
Good.
He's like a professional with steaks and meats.
Oh,
and
nice.
He's got a hookup in downtown Hamilton, and
I put the effort in.
Good.
oh yes,
Good for
huge
you.
knife
Yeah.
kit, and we usually get together like once a month or something, and we just cook.
Nice.
We cook steaks out on the fire there. Have a grill that goes over the fire.
I
Oh,
love cooking
beautiful.
over
Yeah.
the fire, but it's tough.
Yeah.
You
To
Him and me
regulate
wanted-
that heat, right? Yeah.
We wanted to be chefs when we did a cooking course for 2 weeks together when we were younger, and we
Yeah.
were like, we want to be chefs. And then I have a background in kitchens, and I worked in some high-end kitchens, and I was like,
It's
it's
hard.
like a film set.
It is.
a lifestyle. You don't
Yep.
have a life. That is your
Yep.
life.
Absolutely. It is
6 a.m.
physical work,
till-
and it's physical.
Yes,
People don't understand that. It's like,
especially when you're cooking on mass too. Like you're lifting 150 pound
Yeah.
pots, like
I realized
fire.
quickly I wanted to do it
knives.
for the pleasure of it, not for the
Yeah.
paycheck.
yeah, totally. But you're right. There's a lot of similarities with the movie industry.
100%. Similar
Same
lifestyle.
kind of lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain is, one of my favorite
Yeah.
books on the restaurant industry. He really just writes
Well,
a
he's the
beautiful
goat.
picture, of what it's like in those restaurants.
Yeah. You have to love it or you won't make it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And people are like, if they ask me like, hey, should I get into the industry? I'm like, you have to really want it. Because there's going to be times where you're hating your life. If you love it, you can get past those shitty days. But if you're not loving it, those shitty days are really shitty.
Really hard.
really hard.
Having a
Yes.
family or other things to deal with, doesn't mix.
You can. Like I'm working on a documentary about Matt from Thrive in Langton there.
Yep.
And so I've interviewed a lot of his mentors, and I asked them, hey, would you recommend it? And they just laugh. They just laugh. He's like, no. He goes, if you want to continue loving it, like do it at home on your own leisure time. He's like, and we're also the sufferers of heartache, and like it just constantly sucks you back into the industry. So
Yeah, and you're
same for film.
same, and you got to be busy when everybody else is with their family. And you
Yes.
got, they come there to eat or whatever.
Yes.
Because we get that temptation all the time. People ask, why don't you open a restaurant, Thai restaurant or something? And I'm always like, oh man, if video dries up, I might have to do that. But I'm like, that's a young man's game, man.
Weekends, evenings.
Gone. Holidays,
gone. Yeah.
All that. Yeah. So my hat's off to the restaurant industry, especially here in Norfolk. We've lost some good restaurants over the last couple of years.
Sadly.
It's a tough grind, I know. But hopefully they can, we can get a few more back, and the ones that are there can still survive.
Yeah.
We appreciate them.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we appreciate you, Dean. Thanks for
you,
making
Drew.
all this
Thank you,
work and putting it out there and not being scared to sort of talk about it. So, yeah. Everybody go. Where can people find this doc? How do they support you? Where do they donate?
Yeah, so if you go to raineymedia.com,
Okay.
there's a film there.
Yep.
And then there's all the details of how you can donate to support the film, because we had no money for this. There was no grant funding. There was no sponsorship. So we're just going on people's donations right now. And we spent like 1.5 years to make this film. And probably with time and costs and everything is about $40K.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And hoping to make some of that back. But as I say, we're going to have a sponsor come on that will sort of help.
Should help a bit, yeah.
Yeah, help a bit with that. And then we can sort of spread the word on these supplements and maybe help some people out there if possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go to raineymedia.com, and that's the best place to find us, or follow us on Facebook, Rainey Media. You see all our updates. We're getting ready to ramp it up in September. We're going up to Ottawa. We've got screenings up there. We've got screenings Uxbridge. People just reached out from Toronto. We're going to be there.
Nice.
So yeah, we're ready to this is why I was really excited to be on your podcast now at the end of summer, and kind of like we're starting again. This is a good kickoff to come and talk about the topic again.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on, taking the time. All right. Thanks, Dean.
Hey you, you're listening to Just Drew, Just Drew, Just Drew.